Good morning, children. Welcome back. Let's begin with a beautiful quote. Believe you can, and you are halfway there. Children, in the previous video, we have discussed about shelter. What is meant by shelter? Shelter is a safe place where one is protected from any danger. Like us, animals too need shelter to protect themselves. Today we are going to discuss about various animals and their shelters. Let us move to the very first group, animals who build shelters for themselves. You must have seen birds' nests. Nests are shelters that birds build. Birds are afraid of animals that eat eggs, so they need a safe place to lay their eggs. Baby birds come out of the eggs. There are animals that eat these young birds. The young birds are too weak to defend themselves, means they cannot protect themselves. The nest keeps the young ones safe. That is why birds build nest. Birds use grass, straw, twigs, dry leaves to build their nest. They may even use cotton wool and pieces of thread and strings to make their nest soft and warm inside. Children, but not all the nests built by birds are exactly alike. Birds choose convenient places to build their nest. Let us see nest built by different birds. A weaver bird's nest. Weaver bird chooses a thorny tree which has some branches hanging over water. It builds its nest on the highest of these branches. Animals that eat eggs find it difficult to reach this nest. So, it chooses a place which is safe. Let us see a tailor bird's nest. The tailor bird is smaller than a sparrow. It selects a plant with bigger leaves and builds its nest by stitching the leaves together. It uses a fine tendril to stitch them together. Tendril means a very fine stick. This little nest is big enough for the little tailor bird. Children, not only birds, some insects also build their own shelters. For example, honeybees build their honeycombs on trees or under the roof of an overhanging cliff. Many a times we see honeycombs. Rats and mice live underground in fields. They dig into the soil and make holes and burrows to live in. Rats and mice also live in areas where people live. They make holes in the walls or under the floors in houses. They mostly take shelter in mud houses and not in those built with cement because they cannot dig holes into cement construction. Now, let us see the second group, that is animals that find ready shelters in the surrounding. Children, some animals do not make any efforts to build a shelter. They simply look around for a safe place. Like pigeons live in forest. Some live in small hollows in high cliffs. Some live near our houses. They find shelter in gaps in walls. Tigers, leopards, and hyenas live in caves. Some type of bats live in tall trees, but some live in dark caverns in mountains, or they look around for shelter in old deserted tumble down buildings. Children, do you know it is believed that a cobra lives in an anthill, but that is not true. Anthills are built by ants, not by a cobra. The cobras live in holes. Let us move to the third group, that is, we build shelters for some animals, means shelters for domestic animals. People build shelter for animals they keep. The shelter built for hens is called a hen house or chicken coop. A cow shed is built for cows. The shelter for a horse is called a stable. These shelters are made by the people who keep such animals. So children, here we have completed our lesson. Let's revise what we have studied. Animals need a shelter to protect themselves from the cold, wind, sun and rain. It also protects them from other wild animals. Some animals build their own shelters like birds and honeybees. Some animals look for ready shelters in their environment like tiger, hyenas, pigeons and bats. People build shelters for animals they keep, like we keep cows, so a shelter is built for cow, horses, hens, etc. Children, you have to read the lesson thoroughly. We will continue with the exercise in our next video. Till then, happy learning.